Many people in their 70s and 80s often find themselves feeling lonely, wondering how to maintain their inner well-being. This deeply personal question is rarely discussed openly, yet it's a daily reality for many seniors who grapple with it in their private thoughts. As years pass, life circumstances change significantly. Loved ones may move away, family and friends pass on, and social connections gradually weaken. At some point, one realizes they have an abundance of free time, personal space, and quiet, but often lack consistent companionship. However, it's crucial to understand that being alone doesn't condemn one to unhappiness. On the contrary, many discover that their solitude can be a source of greater peace, inner strength, and even joy than they ever imagined. This guide will present 5 effective strategies designed to help individuals, especially seniors without close friends or regular social contacts, find genuine happiness in their own company. These recommendations go beyond simple daily tips. They represent profound, real transformations capable of restoring comfort, clarity of thought, and even a lightness of being to one's life. Each guideline draws upon accumulated emotional wisdom, modern psychological insights, and practical examples from everyday experiences, ensuring readers understand not only what to do but also why these methods are effective. Whether you've recently found yourself in solitude or have lived this way for a long time, you'll find something here that can shift your perception of this new life stage. The ideas presented are designed not just to improve your current outlook, but to fundamentally transform your relationship with loneliness in the future. Guideline 1. A meaningful daily routine. One of the most evident and effective ways to find happiness in solitude is to establish a daily routine that infuses your life with structure, a sense of comfort, and deep meaning. In younger years, the external world often dictates your schedule: work, raising children, numerous meetings, and social obligations. However, in later life, especially when living alone, you might wake up with no one waiting for you, no one expecting anything. This vast, unfilled space can subtly drain your energy if not organized with deliberate care. Having a routine doesn't mean every day must be packed with activities. Rather, it implies waking up with an idea of what you'll do next. Perhaps your morning begins with a warm cup of coffee and 5 minutes of quietly watching the sunlight from your window. Maybe you always take a short walk after lunch or do some gentle stretches before dinner. These small, repetitive actions create a rhythm, and rhythm, in turn, brings inner peace. It might seem elementary, but the human brain finds comfort and stability in predictable structure. Just as music needs a beat, life feels more grounded and harmonious when there's a certain flow to your day, even if no one else is part of it. When you know what's coming next, you spend significantly less time feeling lost or stuck in uncertainty. You transition from aimless wandering to moving forward with a gentle yet tangible purpose. This doesn't mean every moment of your day needs to be productive, quite the opposite. Some of the most valuable routine elements include genuine rest, like a nap, or dedicated time for reading an engaging book or tending to houseplants. The goal isn't just to fill time, as if patching holes. The goal is to value each day because it matters. There's also a profound psychological benefit in choosing the structure of your day yourself. It restores a sense of control over your own life. When you decide how to spend your time, even in the smallest details, you remind yourself, "This is my life. I am still in charge." This feeling of ownership and autonomy significantly boosts both mood and self-esteem, especially when external demands and expectations are scarce. For instance, Harold, 76, writes down 3 things each morning: 1 task, 1 pleasure, and 1 thought. The task might be as simple as folding laundry. The pleasure, a walk with music. The thought, sometimes a quote, sometimes a fleeting feeling. This quiet, consistent daily habit prevents his days from blurring into a gray, featureless sameness. It gives him a compelling reason to get up in the morning and a cause to smile before bed. When living alone, the danger isn't just boredom, it's the feeling that days lose their significance. But this isn't true. A daily routine, however modest, is one of the most powerful tools to remind yourself of the value of every moment. You don't need a large circle of people to feel your own life taking clear shape. All that's required is rhythm and a defined intention. Guideline 2. Emotional self-sufficiency. One of the greatest skills you can develop in later life, especially if you live alone, is the ability to become your own emotional anchor. When your daily environment doesn't include friends or family, there are moments that can feel incredibly quiet, even overwhelmingly silent. Perhaps it's returning to an empty home. Perhaps it's when you long to share something, a laugh, a memory, or even a complaint, but there's no one there to hear it. It's during these times that emotional self-sufficiency becomes not just helpful, but absolutely essential. Emotional self-sufficiency doesn't mean pretending you don't need anyone. It means knowing how to comfort yourself when no one else is around. It's the ability to accept your feelings, whether sadness, peace, gratitude, or uncertainty, and to show yourself the same kindness you would a close friend. Many seniors weren't taught this in their youth. They were raised to work hard, push through difficulties, and keep moving forward. Yet, this stage of life calls for something softer and deeper, listening to yourself and responding to your inner states with care. Start by observing how you talk to yourself in your mind. Are you harsh on yourself when you make a mistake? Do you dwell on regrets or missed social connections? Emotional self-sufficiency begins with noticing that inner voice and softening its tone. Try telling yourself, "I did my best today," or "It's okay to feel this way," or even simply, "I'm here. I'll get through this." It might feel unfamiliar at first, but over time, this internal kindness will become a reliable emotional anchor. Consider it this way: in your younger years, you might have turned to others for support, a friend, spouse, sibling. Over time, those people may not be around, or may be gone entirely. But you are still capable of being that supportive voice for yourself. You can recognize your own needs and meet them with patience and grace. An acquaintance, 81-year-old Carol, keeps a small journal where she writes to herself each evening. She calls it her evening check-in. Sometimes it's a full page of reflections, other times just a single sentence. For example, "I felt lonely at dinner, but I'm proud I cooked something warm and ate at the table." And that's it. No one else reads it. But she says it helps her feel seen. And when you're alone, sometimes the most essential thing is to feel seen, even if it's by yourself. Another powerful way to cultivate emotional self-sufficiency is through the practice of breathing and inner calm. When emotions swell, sadness, fear, even frustration, take a moment to breathe slowly and deeply. This sends a signal to your body, "We're okay," and gives your mind time to respond thoughtfully, rather than impulsively. Over time, these small practices become reliable tools to support you through long days, difficult memories, or sudden moments of grief. It's also crucial to shed any shame associated with loneliness. Feeling lonely doesn't mean you've failed, it means you're human. Instead of running from the feeling, emotional self-sufficiency invites you to sit with it for a bit, then gently steer yourself back to calm, like confident hands on a wheel. And here's what's wonderful: when you learn to meet your own emotional needs, you become less dependent on unpredictable external sources. You'll still enjoy companionship when it comes, of course, but your inner peace will no longer rely on it. This isn't loneliness, it's strength. It's resilience. Guideline 3: Finding joy in small sensory pleasures. When you live alone, and especially as you get older, happiness doesn't always come from grand adventures or significant events. More often, it's found in quiet, subtle details: the warmth of sunlight on your hands, the familiar aroma of something cooking on the stove, the sound of a favorite singer playing softly from a small speaker in the corner of the room. These are the small sensory delights many people overlook in the rush of life. But for those living alone, they can become the true heartbeat of the day. Your senses, sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste, are powerful conduits to joy. When there are no people constantly around, there's a unique opportunity to slow down and truly notice what already surrounds you. That cup of tea in your favorite mug isn't just quenching thirst, it's a source of deep comfort. The blanket you drape over your legs while watching a good movie isn't just warmth, it's solace for the soul. When you start paying close, conscious attention to these minor physical sensations, they subtly, even without your deliberate effort, begin to lift your spirits. There's a profound psychological reason why these seemingly small details become so important. Psychologically, when we actively engage our senses, our minds become firmly anchored in the present moment. For many seniors living alone, this here and now can feel like a lifeline, a reliable anchor. In such moments, you're not dwelling on past regrets or anxieties about tomorrow. You are simply present, allowing a gentle breeze from the window to caress your face. True peace resides in this state, not in hustle and bustle, but in the ability to notice and appreciate. Try it for yourself. Light a candle before dinner, even if you're dining alone. Put on socks fresh from the dryer and truly feel their gentle softness. Play music from your youth. Don't just listen, recall the memories, allow yourself a little dance, hum along, let the melody completely envelop you. These aren't rewards to be earned. They are small but powerful ways to tell yourself, I am still here. I am still important. Let me share the story of 84-year-old Ralph. Every day after lunch, he unhurriedly peels one orange and slowly eats it while sitting by the window. Ralph says the citrus aroma awakens memories of his childhood home, and its sweet, slightly tart taste transports him back to distant summer days. He's in no rush. This orange has become a daily, sacred ritual for him. It connects Ralph to life, to his past memories, and to a quiet, profound happiness that is entirely independent of anyone else's presence. There's also something profoundly comforting in tactile sensations, especially when it comes to items that feel soft, have a pleasant texture, or simply offer solace. This is why many people, consciously or not, stroke the armrest of a chair, wrap themselves in a cozy robe, or gently hold their own hands when alone. This is an expression of a deep human need for physical connection, and you are perfectly capable of fulfilling it yourself. Warm baths, rubbing lotion into your hands, even gently petting a dog or cat, all these address the part of your inner world that still craves care and pleasant sensations. Don't underestimate the significance of these simple actions. When living alone, it's easy to fall into the trap of eating solely for sustenance, completely ignoring the pleasure aspect. However, preparing something you genuinely enjoy and then slowly, mindfully savoring it can be a powerful act of self-respect. The point isn't culinary masterpieces. The point is to remember, you deserve pleasure. Whether it's a small piece of chocolate or a simple buttered toast, these little indulgences send a signal to your body that it is loved and valued. All of the above converges on one profound and powerful truth: your life is still full of sensations, even if it unfolds in silence. Tuning into these feelings is one of the gentlest yet extraordinarily effective ways to feel truly alive again, not just busy or distracted, but truly present in each moment. There's a special beauty in how a gentle breeze sways the curtains. There's genuine joy in a slice of your favorite pie. There's deep peace in the scent of fresh laundry, in your fingertips touching the rim of a warm cup, in the crackle of a fire on the TV screen. None of this depends on anyone else. It all belongs to you. By learning to notice and savor these moments, you create a kind of companionship with life itself. This relationship between you and your world can be as rich and nourishing as any deep conversation you might have with another person. These simple pleasures don't just fill the silence, they transform it into something sacred and meaningful. For those living alone, this shift can make an immense difference. Guideline 4. Indirect connection to the world. The absence of close friends nearby doesn't mean you can't feel connected to others or to the world at large. In fact, some of the most powerful forms of human connection don't stem from deep conversations or daily visits. They arise from simple, quiet exchanges that remind you that you are still part of something much larger than yourself. When you live alone, especially in later life, it's easy to succumb to a feeling of invisibility. You might walk through a store, and no one makes eye contact. You might sit in a park, and no one stops to say hello. However, it's important to realize that being seen doesn't always require someone to know your entire life story. Sometimes, a simple glance, a nod, or a shared moment of kindness is enough to awaken the deep sense of belonging. Start small. When you go for a walk, make eye contact with people passing by. Offer a light, genuine smile. Say good morning. It might not lead to a conversation, and you might never see those people again. But these small gestures are immensely significant because they carry a message: I'm still here, and so are you. Another effective way to maintain connection is by contributing to the world, even if your contribution isn't directly noticed or appreciated by others. For example, one person interviewed, 79-year-old Dennis, practices leaving small notes in library books. These messages are brief, just a line or two: "This story made me laugh. Hope it brings a smile to you too." Or, "Well, you're not alone. Keep going." Dennis will never know who reads his messages. However, by performing this act, he feels part of an invisible chain, a quiet network of human hearts passing encouragement and support to one another. Volunteering, even in its most modest forms, offers another significant path to finding a sense of connection. Some seniors dedicate their time to reading books to children over the phone. Others knit blankets for hospitals or write cards for hospice patients. You don't need to be loud or extremely outgoing for this. Simply by expressing yourself in any available form, you re-engage with life. It reminds you that you still have something to give to the world. Modern technology can also offer a subtle yet important form of connection. Perhaps you don't want to dive into social media, but it's likely there's an online forum or video comment section where others your age share their stories, read others' thoughts, and respond. Even simply realizing that others experience similar feelings or face similar challenges can bring immense comfort. This doesn't replace personal interaction, but it creates a sense of shared experience. Consider becoming a world observer. When sitting on a park bench, simply watch people. Notice children playing, couples holding hands, someone rushing to work. This isn't idle time, it's a way to remind yourself that life goes on, that the world is full of stories, and you're a part of it, even if not actively participating in every one. It's a passive yet profound connection to the flow of human existence. Sometimes, when living alone, one can feel as if their life has stopped while everyone else's moves forward. Indirect connection is an antidote to this feeling. It's a way to tell yourself, I'm still here. I'm still connected. It doesn't require much effort but brings immense satisfaction. It's a quiet yet powerful reminder that you are never truly isolated if you are willing to open your eyes and heart to the world around you. Guideline 5. Cultivating inner peace and self-reflection. Perhaps the deepest and most lasting happiness one can find in solitude stems from developing a rich inner world. When external distractions diminish, a unique opportunity arises to look inward, understand who you truly are, and find peace within your own consciousness. This doesn't mean becoming a hermit or constantly meditating. It means creating space for reflection, for processing thoughts and feelings, and for understanding your own story. In youth, life is often so filled with external events that there's rarely time for deep self-reflection. However, in later life, as the pace slows, this opportunity becomes invaluable. It's a chance to truly get to know yourself, your values, your beliefs, your regrets, and your triumphs. And when you understand yourself, you gain much greater resilience to external circumstances. One of the simplest ways to start is by keeping a journal. You don't have to write every day or create literary masterpieces. Simply jotting down your thoughts and feelings, even if it's just a few sentences, is enough. It's like having a conversation with yourself, but on paper. This helps organize thoughts, express emotions that might otherwise have nowhere to go, and see patterns in your thinking. Many people find that journaling is not only a way to vent, but also a powerful tool for self-discovery. Another approach is practicing mindfulness. This doesn't necessarily mean meditation in the strict sense. It can be as simple as taking a few minutes each day to focus on your breath, the sounds around you, or the sensations in your body. The goal is to be fully present in the moment, without judgment. This helps calm a wandering mind, reduce anxiety, and develop a deeper sense of inner peace. When you practice mindfulness, you learn to be comfortable alone with your thoughts, rather than running from them. Consider creating a sacred space in your home. This doesn't have to be an entire room. It could be a corner with a comfortable chair, good lighting, and perhaps a few personal items that bring you joy or peace. This is a place where you can retreat to read, think, listen to music, or simply be. It's a physical manifestation of your inner world, a place where you can be completely yourself, free from any expectations or demands. An inner world isn't just the absence of external noise, it's the presence of internal calm. It's the understanding that while external circumstances may change, your inner essence remains constant. It's the realization that you are the source of your own happiness and peace. For example, 88-year-old Evelyn spends 15 minutes each morning sitting by her window with a cup of tea, simply watching the birds and trees. She doesn't read, listen to music, or do anything productive. She just is. She says these 15 minutes are her anchor, helping her feel centered and calm for the rest of the day. It's her way of connecting with something larger than herself, and at the same time, deeply connecting with herself. Cultivating an inner world is a journey, not a destination. It's a process of continuous learning, growth, and self-discovery. And it's a journey you can take alone, but one that will enrich your life in immeasurable ways. It's not just a way to cope with loneliness, it's a way to thrive in it, finding a deep and lasting source of joy and meaning within yourself. It's the realization that you are a whole world, and that world is worth exploring and cherishing. Conclusion. Loneliness in old age is not a sentence but an opportunity. It's a chance to reevaluate your life, find new sources of joy, and deepen your connection with yourself. By applying these 5 guidelines, creating a meaningful routine, developing emotional self-sufficiency, finding joy in small sensory pleasures, maintaining an indirect connection with the world, and cultivating a rich inner world, you can transform a period of solitude into one of the most fruitful and peaceful stages of your life. Remember, happiness is not something to be sought externally. It resides within, waiting for you to discover it. And there's no better time than now to begin this journey. Sharing similar feelings is a form of community. Or perhaps one enjoys sending greeting cards to neighbors or leaving a kind review for a local bakery. These actions might seem insignificant, but they spread in waves, creating a ripple effect. In response, one begins to feel noticed by the world, not with fanfare, but with warmth and recognition. What's truly important here is the direction of one's energy. Instead of retreating inward, one gently, quietly, yet consistently expands their influence outward. It's as if they are telling the world, I may be alone, but I am not disconnected from you. And in return, life has a way of responding to that call. Recall the last time a stranger did something kind for you. Perhaps someone held a door, helped carry a heavy bag, or said something pleasant in passing. Do you remember how that made you feel? You can be that same moment of kindness for someone else. By performing such acts, you strengthen your own sense of connection to the world. There's also a certain peace that comes from simply existing in shared spaces. You don't need to engage in conversations. Just sitting in a cafe, taking a leisurely stroll through a museum, or spending time in a local garden allows your soul to feel part of humanity again. You are not on the sidelines of life, you are within it. Even if it's quiet, even if you are alone. And here's a gentle truth, the world needs people like you. People who observe. People who appreciate the small things. People who smile without asking for anything in return. Your presence, your resilience, your quiet strength, all contribute to the intricate fabric of the world. So even if you are alone in your home, your existence resonates outward. Every small act of attention, kindness, or care becomes a thread of connection. You don't need to wait for someone to reach out. You can start that wave, creating one quiet ripple at a time. Guideline 5. Maintain curiosity and learning. When the noise of social life subsides, and you find yourself with more quiet time than ever before, one of the most meaningful ways to stay happy is to keep your mind engaged. Not just distracted or entertained, but truly alive through curiosity, learning, and wonder about the world you are still a part of. There's a common myth that after a certain age, our brains simply start to slow down, that the season of growth and discovery is behind us. But neuroscience and lived experience tell a completely different story. As long as you breathe, your brain is capable of learning new things, forming new neural connections, and expanding your understanding. In fact, many older adults who feel the most fulfilled are those who have kept their minds open, even as life has become quiet and measured. Learning doesn't necessarily mean returning to school or taking on a big, intimidating project. It simply means inviting novelty into your mind. This could be reading a book you never thought you'd pick up, watching a documentary about something outside your usual interests, or trying a new recipe with an ingredient you've never worked with. Even simply listening to an educational podcast while folding laundry can plant a new idea in your mind. Consider Frank, an 82-year-old who started painting last year. He had never held a paintbrush before, not once. But one day on a walk, he passed an art store, bought a small watercolor set, and just began. He says he's not painting masterpieces, but every time he dips his brush in water, he feels something awaken within him. He's learning to see color differently. He's learning to be patient with himself. And he says it's the process of learning, not the final product, that fills his days with meaning again. When you keep your mind curious, something profound happens. Life stops feeling closed off and limited. Instead, it begins to open up, revealing new facets. You start to notice more details. You begin to make small but significant connections between different things, between past experiences and new ones, between what you've always known and what you're still discovering. This engagement gives your mind direction and purpose. And when your mind is moving forward, even gently and unhurriedly, it becomes much harder for loneliness or hopelessness to take root in your consciousness. Another beautiful part of learning is that it strengthens your relationship with yourself. When you explore new ideas, you are essentially telling yourself, I still have questions. I still care. I still want to know more. This is a powerful affirmation, especially at a stage of life when many might feel overlooked or undervalued. This pursuit of knowledge doesn't have to be academic or formal. Gardening, for instance, can offer new lessons every week. Bird-watching from your window can become a fascinating daily practice. Exploring a new prayer, hymn, or meditation practice enriches your spiritual life. Even simply writing down your memories, the stories you've lived through, helps you see patterns, wisdom, and meaning that might have gone unnoticed for years. Keeping your mind active also significantly improves overall health. Research consistently shows that older adults who remain mentally engaged tend to exhibit better memory, sharper thinking, and greater emotional resilience. The point isn't to solve complex math problems or memorize minute details. The essence is to stay interested, to allow yourself to wonder about something new. Think about the last time you learned something that made you pause and say, I didn't know that. Whether it was from a book, a conversation, a movie, or even your own mistake. That moment of realization, that little spark of curiosity, that's what makes your spirit feel young again. And the more you feed it, the more alive you feel. In the quiet of your home, you have a powerful opportunity. You can allow your mind to contract, to close in, or you can allow it to expand, to open to the new. One path leads to peace and contentment. The other leads to stagnation and sorrow. And the difference often lies in a small choice: picking up a book, watching an educational program, asking yourself a question. So whether it's a puzzle on your table, a map on your wall, or an old memory you decide to write down today, keep your mind moving. Not frantically, not under pressure, but simply with genuine curiosity. This will not only keep you company but will also give your life shape, purpose, and color even in the quietest moments. Because happiness in solitude doesn't come from distraction. It comes from attention, from discovery, from realizing that even now in this chapter of life, new things still await you, and they can change how you see the world or even yourself. Concluding thoughts. Take a moment to quietly reflect on these 5 guidelines. Which one resonated with you most deeply? Was it the reminder to create a stable routine? Or perhaps the idea that joy can still be found in the scent of warm food or the feel of soft fabric against your skin? Whatever it was, hold on to it. Allow it to stay with you. Living alone in older age can sometimes feel like being an outsider, as if one is on the periphery of events. But the truth is, this time of life offers a different kind of beauty, a slower, quieter beauty. One that doesn't demand noise or applause, but instead invites peace, personal growth, and self-respect. You are no less significant because you are alone. You are not forgotten because fewer people call. In fact, you may be more attuned to yourself now than ever before. This kind of inner knowing is rare and powerful. So wherever you are today, on a porch with a book at the kitchen sink, or lying in bed with a backlit screen in the dark, know this: happiness is still within your grasp. It doesn't require a crowd. Just a little courage to try something new or to look at something old with fresh eyes. And remember, you are not entirely alone here. This community is full of people just like you. People who are learning to live well, even in solitude.